I have to ask you guys, like, what does this result mean for the manager now, Steve? Because, and his future, it's worth talking about, because I think my own thoughts. I think the European form is it must be what's it, because Liverpool have won 5 Premier League games since September. The Premier League form, if not for that early run of where we got most of our points in those mad first few weeks of August, September, Liverpool would be like Man United and Spurs last year, like really, really, really struggling. So, where are you at with the manager? Do you think how much pressure do you think he's under, and how do you see this pan out, and ultimately what do you think should happen?
He's one game away.
And if he's one game away, then does he just not just bite the bullet? What's the point of
the thinking for me would be there's going to be some managerial changes in the summer. For instance, let's assume or pretend that Guardiola thinks that's it for me, okay, and he walks away, and Manchester City go and get company from Bayern Munich because he's doing bits and pieces over there. Who are Bayern Munich going to look at? We're going to look at Xabi Alonso straight away. Okay, that spectre of Xabi Alonso looms massively over our football club at the moment, and most importantly over Arne Slot. I have a little bit of a theory about, at the moment, every time you isolate Virgil van Dijk, you cause him problems. He's 35 years old next birthday. You need to reinvent these players and give them something else. Going into the Alonso thing, and I don't know whether anyone else is looking at this, is that you would put Van Dijk in the middle of a back three, because that's what he does. It reinvigorates him because he doesn't have to do the work that he's doing at the moment. So the Alonso thing is a massive factor in the timing of what goes on around other clubs and potential. If Guardiola announces this is his last season, you as a club, a Liverpool Football Club, then have to make a decision. That guy's not going to be looking at jobs for very much longer, because the two clubs are potentially going to look at him straight away. City would look at him and Bayern Munich would look at him, depending on where company ends up or stays.
We don't currently have a good record of making quick decisions, and other people steal the players we're looking at.
We've just played a team that's won 2 games in 15, and there's 6 points behind us in the league.
I mean, my view is that after the game against Bournemouth, his job is on a thread, a very thin thread. If we beat Qarabag and qualify in the top 8, that thread gets a bit thicker and he's a bit safer. Get beat by Newcastle next weekend, I think he's probably gone.
That's just no way to live, is it? I'm with you, but it's a tough one. Let's take away the Alonso thing for a moment, if you don't mind, gents, because you're right, it's a thing that they're thinking about, but let's just look at the results and stuff that Liverpool have had. There's this idea, John, and it's interesting because you guys have seen it all, both of you, Liverpool through the years. Like Liverpool, they don't sack managers, they do things differently and that. But like, they do. Like, it's only really, Kenny went upstairs, Roy Evans got kind of pushed out, but he was sacked effectively, and then Jürgen left. Everyone else gets sacked. Everyone gets
sacked.
I
don't think we're not like Chelsea, say, where you have a manager every few minutes. We're always going to be a club who give managers a chance.
But FSG as well, John, to be fair, they've sacked Roy Hodgson, they've sacked Kenny Dalglish, and they've sacked Brendan Rodgers. These are, the only one of the managers they didn't sack was Jürgen, and he left. There's this idea that they can do it.
It's not that they don't sack, it's that they don't sack, every 2 minutes if things aren't going well. They give everyone a chance. I mean, but, I think Slot's had a lot of chances this season. And of course, he's got money in the bank from having won the title. And it's not his fault, I don't think, that we've got no centre-backs. And we haven't got proper cover of full-back anymore. And those things are going to have to be addressed at some point. I mean, as we said, Virgil's 35 next birthday. Where's his replacement? He should be at the club now.
I agree. And I think those above him absolutely are going to...
It's scandalous.
There's loads and loads of questions. You can sit 3 guys down and interrogate them till the cows come home. And that would be Edwards, Hughes and Slot for a variety of different things. I think... If you would you roll the dice right now? Yes or no? Would you roll the dice?
Honestly, mate, I am so conflicted in that. My general thoughts are. I said that after the summer, I'd give everyone the benefit of any doubt because it was such a horrendous time. But I just don't know at this moment in time how this is going to get better. And my worry, I said a few weeks ago, I think it'll be fine. I think ultimately the league's that crap, we'll finish 5th or 6th, 4th or 5th. And then you can kind of kick the can to the summer and you can make decisions on the squad. Because I worry that a new manager coming in is going to face the same issues because I'm with you, the squad is an issue as well. I felt for the first time
at the
weekend.
They've got a week, haven't they, to buy players? And if they don't do that, then you're bringing in a new manager to fail, aren't you?
I think you either sack him or back him. So you either have to buy some players or bin them off. I think this middle ground of doing nothing is doing either. That Bournemouth second half was a real concern to me, and I think they might have quit on him. And in which case, I think they probably should sack him. And I feel really dreadful because, again, I'll go back to it. I think that he was dealt such a horrendous hand.
See, the thing is,
it's really. I think probably yes, if I'm honest.
If you'd said,
and that's hard. It's hard, but probably.
If you'd said to Hughes and Edwards, this guy's going to go and win you the Premier League in the first season of asking, they'd have said, "Sod off, you joker." That's hamstrung him massively that he overachieved in the first season, and he's reached the pinnacle within 8 months of taking the job, and then suddenly everything else, unless you go and win that and the Champions League, where do you go that appeases and satisfies everybody? That's the question, isn't it?
What annoys me is that we all recognise that Klopp strengthened his midfield before he left. That was this big thing. That was the legacy he left. And on the basis of that, we won the title under Slot. The next thing needed was to revitalise the defence. You know, we've got a 35-year-old, we've got Gomez, who's always injured. And what they did is they bought a young kid from Italy, and I don't care whether he got injured or he didn't. He's not coming in and playing in that team. There's no way, at his age with limited experience. So he's for the future. So the injury is irrelevant in a way. And they've bought no one to cover. I mean, yes, they tried Gay, but they were very late in the day trying to get that over the line. And the whole season is almost fallen apart because they didn't get a centre-back in.
Would you roll the dice?
I think I would now.
Yeah.
Would you?
Yeah.
It's sad, isn't it?
It is sad, and I've never been slot in or slot out. The club means more to me than the individuals.
I don't think they should sack him unless they're going to buy some players this week. You know, they've got to cover Joe Gomez now. He's injured again. And, you know, Canate, you can't trust him because he plays well one week and bad the next.
Put themselves in a really difficult position, to be honest with you, haven't they, in terms of potentially not doing something.
Bournemouth was the first time I thought they've stopped playing for the manager. I genuinely thought that, and I was like, and then that is on the players as well, but you can't change 21 players in January. But I'm with you. If, for example, if they sack Arne Slot or Stevie G comes in, or whatever, as an interim, or Xabi Alonso comes in, I still think that person would then have to be backed in the market. And if they're not going to do that, part of me feels you're better off sticking with Slot rather than trying to implement something brand new in the middle of January. So I am very much conflicted.
In his credit, as we've said all the way through this, the European form is fine.
Yeah.
At the moment,
so to bring in a new manager without strengthening is just setting the whole club up to fail this season, isn't it? At least Slot, you know, could make a fist of the Champions League.
No, I'm not one who screams and shouts, because I think some of the abuse he's got, and some of it has been really disrespectful.
100%.
Some of the things said about him, like he's this clown and he's like a fool and stuff, I don't agree with. I don't think all the problems are solely because who the manager is. I think those above him have really, really done him a real disservice for the reasons we've spoken about. But you can't do it about that now.
It's like they decided to go and buy all these attack-minded players and be remiss. That's being kind on the back four, isn't it? If you roll the dice and you bring Alonso in, you've got to bring at least one decent centre back in as well, because Canate will come back into the fold. If Alonso, let's say it's Alonso, and I know I keep indulging myself with Alonso because as a player I was a massive fan. I watched a lot of Leverkusen. You unlock Florian Wirtz for a start, because that guy's got the key to everything that he did, but was good. And you also then potentially change your shape a little bit, and then you've got Kerkez and you've got Frimpong, who really, let's be honest, the wing backs, not orthodox.
Good luck playing three at the back if you've only got
well, exactly. That's why you'd have to bring a player in with you, at least one in with you to do that, and to go into that back three, and then hopefully Gomez is a bruise as opposed to something that's a bit longer, and then you've got four lads who potentially could play in there, and it's difficult, isn't it? It really is, but I think I just don't see answers to problems that we're getting on the pitch, and that is Slot's position. You can look at the roles of Edwards and Hughes, particularly Hughes, because Edwards is more of a FSG football CEO, but Hughes is the guy kind of driving where we're going in terms of recruitment and believing that we could just be this attacking force that blew everybody away. Slot's got to go, stop going to press conferences saying I'm an attack-minded manager, because he really isn't. He was brought in for the same pragmatic high press and intensity that Jurgen Klopp had, and it's not his fault. It's not. You're right, and some of the things said about him are horrendous. But what you see on the pitch for 90 minutes a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, is on him. And you have to, as a good football manager, finds answers to problems as they arise in real time. We've had conversations when I used to work here about how good Jurgen Klopp was with dealing with real time problems as they occur on the pitch. That's gone. That's stopped. John, the point you made before about we go a goal down, so we end up with 5-6 attacking players and Ryan Gravenberg's playing at centre back. That's wild.
No, it is. We'll see how it all pans out over the course, but yeah, it's a sad, unfortunate reality that that's the situation Liverpool are in. That was a clip from the Final Word show. To check out the entire show, head on over to the Redmen Plus app.